You really want me to do the intro?
Yeah.
Welcome. It's your boy Sermon at sermonsdomain.com.
What's going on? This is Reese, Murs Empire.
Yes, and today we are here to talk about Murs, Have a Nice Life. What a title. I like that title a lot.
That's a very happy title.
Yeah. I remember I was reading, up on the album, and Murs said that he changed it from Love and Rockets Volume 2 to Have a Nice Life because it was something that caught people off guard when he would say it. He says, it always invoked an emotion, so I figured why not make it the title of the album. So I thought it was interesting like that. So
I know that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What is your initial thoughts on the album?
I feel like it was a pretty positive album. I feel like that's where he was going. When we did the interview, I told you we did the interview with Murs and
Juice Radio, Mayday,
Murs and Mayday, Juice Radio. He touched on like delivering more messages, like more positive messages in his music. That's what he said he wanted to do, and I feel like with this album he was able to do that. I feel like he has always been an artist that's been able to, again, deliver messages, not just from like a really corny sense, but like this is how I feel. This is, the state of being at this point in time, you know what I mean? And it's being able to portray those things pretty positively. But I think just here, it just seems like a little bit more well-rounded, you know what I mean? A little more universal. And
yeah, and I think that's what he was going for too. He was going for, it's positive and it's also personal. I feel like he gives you shades of his life because one of the things that he also said was that he feels like, you look at like Jay-Z. Jay-Z's an ex-crack dealer. That's his history, his background.
Right.
But when you think of Murs, like what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Murs? Anything? I'll tell you what comes to mind.
I would assume that he was like, it just seems more, again, like more of a universal appeal. I don't know. What do you think? What's the first thing?
Paid dues. The festival. He's one of the minds behind that. So that's what comes to mind when I always thought about him.
Okay.
And I always knew he was an artist, but I never really listened to his music like that.
Right.
He signed to Strange Music. He did the Murs Day project with Mayday last year.
Right.
And I didn't really get into that either. And now I feel like, maybe I've been missing out. Maybe I need to go back in the catalog and listen to some more stuff and see, because Have a Nice Life is an album that impressed me enough. Yeah,
it impressed me, definitely. Again, after speaking to him as well, it was really good, to just kind of hear his take on the direction he wanted to take with his music. So that always gives you different perspective as well going into it. So it's kind of like a cheat code. Like I know what you're going for, so I'm going to listen for that.
Right.
It wasn't an album that I would say I agreed or disagreed with. Like sometimes you find yourself taking sides with the music. But I did like it overall. And again, it does give you like different opportunities to see how honest and how truthful he is. Like we were just discussing, I think the only track that I absolutely did not like was Black Girls Be Like.
Yeah.
I think that was a fail of a record because I feel like he tried to do too much.
Right. One of the things that we were talking about when we listened to the record is like, what's the message behind this? And because obviously there's some kind of message behind it. He had some kind of vision in mind, but I don't think he executed it well at all. I don't know, because if you're just listening to the record, you're gonna think like, why is he just talking about all these stereotypes like that?
Right. It seems like a caricature.
Yeah.
Like you're painting a caricature of black women.
And I would understand it if maybe like the first verse was that, and then the second verse was like, trying to fix that or change that or, address that in some kind of fashion, but I don't feel like I understand the concept.
I don't think anybody understands the concept of it. I think it might be just like one of those gimmicky things that social media catches on to. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like it was going towards. Like, social media is going to catch on to this and someone's going to use that for a vine. Or someone's going to use that for like a dub smash now.
I really hope not because I don't like that hook at all.
Well, I'm just saying I can see somebody like doing that and maybe that's what it was marketed as, or will be marketed as.
I don't know, because I don't look at Strange Music as marketing to that fashion. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
what can you take from it though? What can you take from it though?
What do you mean?
That song.
I don't know. I don't understand the concept enough to know what I can take away from it.
Right.
But you know, aside from that record, a lot of the album is good. I think one of the standouts was PTSD with E40.
E40? Yeah.
Yeah, I like, not because E40's on it, just because I like the hook. I feel like he was really touching on a lot of issues that needed to be touched on.
Right.
And he started it off, you know, and woke Up Dead too. It wasn't like he just, you know, went into PTSD. He kind of set it up with Woke Up Dead.
What's really cool is that, again, like, Murs is not an artist that'll give you a bunch of filler or bullshit.
This is hot.
I love that hat, man.
You're sweating, you're just sitting down.
But yeah, bro. But again, like, he's an artist not gonna give you a bunch of filler. You know what I mean? It's not gonna just talk at you. He's not that artist either.
Right.
So, you know, it's very interesting dynamic.
What would you rate it?
Like a 3.8. I may not listen to it anymore. It's not my genre of music that I prefer, but it's definitely not bad. And I would, if you listen to Murs, if you're a fan, I would definitely tell you to pick it up. If you're a fan of the whole Strange Music family, I would tell you to pick it up.
Of course, and definitely, if you're looking for new good music, I would definitely recommend Have a Nice Life as well. I would give it, I want to say like a 3.5. I like the different sounds on the album, despite the fact that for the most part it's only produced by one producer, and that was man, what was his name? Jesse Satkin.
It's always cool to lock yourself in with this one producer.
Right.
It's always good to hear that.
Yeah, and it always turns out good for a lot of artists.
For a lot of artists, yeah, because you have the chemistry.
Especially like on Strange Music, I know Tech uses 7 most of the time for like 99% of his albums. So it's good to see Murs go that route as well.
The risk that you're on with that though is getting locked into a sound. You know what I mean?
Unless you work with the right producer.
Right.
Like obviously, if you get DJ Mustard for a whole album, you know it's not gonna.
You know what you're gonna get.
Unless you're T-Fly. T-Fly made it work because he had the R&B.
He's T-Fly though.
He's T-Fly.
He's T-Fly though.
So yeah, Have a Nice Life is out now. Go pick it up on iTunes and Best Buy, on the Strange Music store. Follow us on Twitter at Sermons Domain.
At Even More Supios.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Listen to the albums and let us know your comments. What did you think of the album? Were you impressed? Were you disappointed? I wouldn't say, you know, tell us your favorite guest feature, because E40 is really the only person that has a rap feature. Everybody else is more, you know, low key.
Right.
Hook duties. Anyways, thank you for watching. And have a nice life.
Have a nice life.